Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand for our national anthem?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Siegel and Schuster Society welcomes you to Cleveland's Glenville neighborhood, where legends were born. Today we honor two men who shook the world, who gave us exciting news stories and heroes, and whose legacy can never be forgotten. We honor those who have kept alive the memories of Jerry Siegel and Joe Schuster, and their contribution to popular culture worldwide. And we thank those who have worked so diligently to recognize two Cleveland landmarks. To begin today's ceremony, representing the Siegel and Schuster Society, here's Mike Olszewski.
Thank you, everyone. A great day is upon us. A great day. Today we gather to honor two teenagers who created a universe on a piece of paper. Superman may be from Krypton, but he was born right here, in this house, in Cleveland's Glenville neighborhood, from the amazing minds of Jerry Siegel and Joe Schuster. You know, a little over 20 years ago, Jerry Siegel remembered those early days in a letter to Mayor George Voinovich. He wrote, "Cleveland, whose streets we walked, and where we dreamed our wildly ambitious dreams back in the 1930s, during the Depression. We would walk all the way downtown because we couldn't afford streetcar fares. We looked up at Cleveland's Terminal Tower and visualized a costume figure who had not yet seen print, whizzing through the sky around it on a secretly tremendous important mission, no doubt. Well, today, that mission would have brought him to Kimberly and Amore Avenues. There are 5 literary characters known worldwide. They include Sherlock Holmes, Robin Hood, Mickey Mouse, Tarzan, and of course Superman. The influence of these two men stretched around the globe. Like the kid near Stockholm, Sweden, who saw World War II happening in his own backyard. But that kid would read about Jerry Siegel and Joe Schuster in Jules Verne magazine. He saw their vision for a future filled with hope and justice and accomplishment and some kind of peace. And that young boy vowed, someday I will go to Cleveland, Ohio. He grew up to be a renowned science fiction writer and journalist. And he eventually made it to stand here on this very porch to pay tribute to these truly remarkable individuals. What about a young boy closer to home, on Cleveland's southeast side, who would look out of his first grade window and imagined a man flying through the clouds and wondered about other characters captured in the printed word, not only in comic books, but the classics as well. His teacher may have taught him to read, but Siegel and Schuster gave him a reason to want to read and write and express himself. And that kid would grow up owing a lasting debt to Jerry Siegel and Joe Schuster. A young girl on the city's west side would read Superman behind closed doors because it was seen as a boys' comic book. Well, she was inspired by the Man of Steel and Lois Lane to pick up a camera and capture images that would bring her and Cleveland international acclaim. Now, this world-renowned photographer has worked with the biggest names in entertainment to this very day. Hanging prominently in her home is a framed drawing of Superman, her constant reminder of the influence Jerry Siegel and Joe Schuster had on her life. It could be an artist in Tennessee, or someone right here in Northeast Ohio, whose creativity was sparked by this new mythology and spent countless hours at a drawing board developing their own characters that would become synonymous with a city. Maybe it was an Academy Award-winning actor who would name his own son Kal-El. That was in tribute to the work of these amazing men. Nicolas Cage made it clear time and time again just how important the work of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster has been to him. What about a young man who could appreciate the importance in his own father's work as a policeman, whose dad would change into a blue costume and shield to fight crime, and then change back to his secret identity of being a dad when he came home for the night? And what about the kids who didn't have a dad, or one who was never home to be a dad because he was working 2 jobs? Every child's father should be their hero, but if he wasn't there, Superman was a great substitute. And Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster taught them valuable lessons. Perhaps he was an aspiring writer who thought he could work for the Daily Planet, or something close in the Plain Dealer, and even write his own award-winning graphic novels. Or maybe a kid who saw the academic importance of his work early on and would be moved to advance it at one of the world's most respected universities. Let's not forget the average citizen, who realized how important Cleveland, and especially Glenville's gift to the world, was to them, and felt they too should be part of this magnificent event. Many of these people are with us today. And those who are not are certainly here in spirit. The award-winning cartoonist Tom Baddock is one of them, and he wrote me to say, "One day, when I was in grade school, I was nosing through an encyclopedia. I came across an entry for Jerry Siegel. When I read that he came from Cleveland, and it was an epiphany, because I suddenly realized you didn't have to be from New York City to create comics. It was an inspiration to know that someone who came from where I lived could do that, and it opened my mind and heart up to a world of possibilities." Tom, of course, is the creator of the syndicated comic strip Funky Winkerbean, and he took his readers nationwide on a field trip to this very house. As I mentioned, they used to be called funny books, but Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster elevated this art to a new and exciting form of literature. Again, it's called the new mythology. Maybe a kid in the 50s or 60s got a dime for his weekly allowance. Maybe he had a paper route. That kid would go to a drugstore or a newsstand and look at those big revolving creaking stands of colorful magazines. And that dime bought that kid a ticket to another world full of adventure and space travel and maybe a trip through time. And it showed that a woman like Lois Lane could be assertive and successful in what was then called a man's world, even if she couldn't see the truth that what was hidden behind that flimsy pair of glasses. You know, in reality, she knew. She just didn't want to ruin the story. Otherwise, it would have been a waste of a dime for that kid. Let's face it. They embraced those characters. We all embraced those characters, really. But in reality, we didn't want to be Superman. More importantly, they saw the potential and the drive and the great dignity and the inspiration that was offered by 2 teenagers who never gave up and forever changed the face of American culture. In reality, they wanted to be Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. That's another major reason that we're here today. We have so many important people to thank. Jefferson and Hattie Gray. We'd like to give it up for them. I suspect you two had no idea you were going to become the caretakers of history. But you know what, folks? They embrace that role, and so often they open their home and their hearts to people they never knew, and they are 2 very patient and very special people. We also thank Rachel Davis and Tyrone Smith for being so kind in helping us prepare Joe Shuster's tribute site on Amore Avenue. They deserve special credit as well. We give special thanks to the noted writer Brad Meltzer. A year ago, we met on this very porch, and you could feel the passion this man had to restore this treasured Cleveland landmark. Now, along with Jason Sherry, the videographer, they captured the essence of Brad's vision. And through the generosity of the comics and television industries and the fans of Siegel and Shuster, we proudly stand here today. We also thank Michael Sangiacomo, whose articles in the Plain Dealer stirred the conscience of Northeast Ohio, stressing the importance of these remarkable men and the civic responsibility to honor their accomplishments. I'm so proud to share the stage with Michael today. The Siegel and Shuster Society, under the strong leadership of Richard Pace and the guiding hand of Gene McMaster, the Society has made great strides in doing just that. They are looking beyond today to similar exciting projects. To DC Comics and Time Warner Communications, whose support and encouragement cannot be understated in this important and continuing effort. To Tracy Kurtzy and the Glenville Development Corporation, her love for this community and its history is evident by the diligence and energy she put into this and every project she's involved in. To Brad Ricca, whose brilliant film Last Son reminds us all of the deep roots that Siegel and Schuster and their legendary character all have in Cleveland. Peter Smith, who along with Jamie Regal helped plan a massive Superman-themed celebration to salute Siegel and Schuster and their remarkable contribution to popular culture. And to those, indeed, please give it up for us. They did a great job. And to those who gave so much of their time from all walks of life, from fans like Matt Rizzuto to prominent businessmen like Steve Presser. Steve is a busy guy. He had other matters of concern always. This man would be at every meeting, sometimes on 2 or 3 hours sleep. Steve, there was one time I was afraid to see you behind the wheel. We also owe thanks to those who worked so diligently on the home and the site of Joe Schuster's apartment, including Rob Woodwich, that is, with Blake and Kessler. Sherwin Williams, fathers active in the hood, better known as Faith, hands-on NEO, Charter 1, the Carnegie Mellon Alumni Association, Derek Gelvin at D. Gelvin Studio, Marcia Kren at Vista Color Imaging, Home Depot, Party 411, and Cynthia Lewis of Neighborhood Connections. She helped us so much with the fence. The artistic talents of Steve Stanley, Jim Bowers with Cape Wonder, Dar Caldwell, who did so much of the landscaping work, thank you, Dar, and Wolfpack Entertainment. We thank the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage for their support and great cooperation in helping promote this worthwhile cause. Very special thanks to the families of Jerry Siegel and Joe Schuster. They came from a few blocks away and across the country to make this event. And especially those who worked so closely with us as members of the Siegel and Schuster Society, including Norma Wolkoff, Rita Hubar, Lee Goldie, and Irv Fine. Along with their diligence and determination, they are truly nice people. They're just a joy to be with. And of course, our undying gratitude to a couple of very special guests, Joanne Carter Siegel and her daughter Laura Siegel Larson, and their families. On behalf of everyone here, welcome home. Okay, we have more important matters to take care of, and it is my duty and privilege to introduce Cleveland Ward 8 Councilwoman Sherry Cloud and Ward 9 Councilman Kevin Conwell. Is Mr. Conwell here? Yes, it is. Yes. Thank you very much.
This is the Ward 8-9 crew today. But anyway, this is a very good example of community collaborations where neighbors and community organizations come together to build community. But I have to say that some time ago, I guess about 10 years ago, Tracy, that we started this initiative with the Glenville Hall of Fame, and we inducted Jerry Siegel and Joe Schuster into the Glenville Hall of Fame. So there's been a close attachment to this project, and I'm so happy that you continue to carry this out. This is a wonderful thing for us. With that, I'm going to let Kevin speak because we have something that we want to unveil.
Okay, thank you. And I'll be 1 minute because I don't want people to be upset with me because of the thunder up here. Welcome to Glenville and welcome to Smallsville. You know, they're really talking about Cleveland and they're really talking about Glenville. Anytime you see on TV, tell people worldwide, when you see Smallsville, they're talking about Glenville. And they're talking about the home right here where Superman was created. And at that time, when it was the Great Depression going on, what's going on right now, we needed nationalism. So nationalism started right here in the city of Cleveland, Smallsville, Glenville, right here with you, everybody here in mind. So let's tell the world that. Thank you and God bless. Amen.
Wait a minute.
Now they're going to unwrap this special surprise. This is wrapped in the Daily Planet. We are dedicating the streets, Kimberly Avenue, Amore, and Parkwood for Joe Shuster, Jerry Siegel, and Lois Lane.
Here we are.
That is fun.
Terrific.
Pick up our Daily Planet.
That's right. We'll put that on email. Thanks very much. We are so blessed in this city to have dedicated officials like our council people and, of course, Tracy, who's done a good job. At this time, I'd like to proudly introduce a key player in the events that bring us here today. Dick Pace has played a critical role in bringing this project together. He's been a true inspiration to us. It's my pleasure to introduce the president of the Siegel and Schuster Society, Mr. Dick Pace.
Well, thank you, Mike. Today is a day of thanks. We've achieved a great deal. We're going to keep on going, but today's a day to celebrate. This celebration is not just here in Glenville, but it's all across the world. Wall Street Journal today has a great article about what we've done here and what we're doing here and about this great neighborhood. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. New York Times has done the same, and we want to just keep it going. But the fans are really the important piece, and I want to read an email that was sent to Jamie Regal. It says, "Hi, even though I'm from far away, I'd like you to know that I'm going to wear my Superman t-shirt and all my Superman accessories for the SuperCon to let you know I support the Fun Fest. Even though I'll be doing this alone in the Philippines, I'll be the biggest Superman fan here." So it's all about the fans. Thank you. But what we want to do, today's a day of thanks. We want to thank, we can never thank everybody who's been involved because so many fans contributed money. We just thank all those people. But we do have some people here that we need to recognize. And first and foremost is our own Superman, Mike Giacomo. Thank you. Mike may be the Clark Kent at the Plain Dealer, as well as an author of The Tales of the Starlight Drive-In, which was just voted the best graphic novel anywhere. Congratulations, Mike. He's kept the dream alive for so many decades here to restore this house and bring attention to what's been done here in Glenville. Without him, we wouldn't be here. What he did, we have to thank him for inspiring the rest of us to get involved and make a difference. In today's world of apathy, he empowered us to take action. He truly is our Superman. And in recognition of that, we'd like to give him a brick and a certificate from from Jamie. If you could come up, I don't know if you can sneak underneath here. Jamie was instrumental in getting all this to happen. But we have a brick. Why don't you let Jamie in and put that up? This is for Mike, and Mike, if you could just say a couple words, we'd appreciate it because all you've done for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Jesus, I'm expected to be on this side of the microphone. I'm usually out there with a notebook. I still have my notebook with me. I'm just really glad this came to pass, and I guess for 20 years I've been sort of harping on this in my column in the Plain Dealer, and finally somebody listened. So I'm just really glad, and I want to thank, I'm not going to go through all the names of all the people because you already heard them, but I'd like to thank all those people and more. And thank you all for coming.
Next, I'd like to thank Brad Meltzer. Unfortunately, Brad couldn't join us today. He joined us last evening, and we were able to hand him his brick last evening. Today, not surprisingly, he's in New York in a prior commitment, accepting another award for his charitable contributions and all the charitable work he does. Without Brad, him putting together the auction, raising the money, Mike's dream and our dream could never become a reality. So we really appreciate everything Brad did, what Jason Cherry did as videographer and putting together the film clip. So we appreciate that, and Brad has done a great thing for us and for the memory of Superman and the memory of Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel. Next, I'd like to thank our dignitary, Joanne Siegel, Jerry Siegel's wife. She, with her daughter Laura, have carried the torch to continue to bring respect and acknowledgement and attention to the creative work of Jerry and Joe. And without them, I think this is just a wonderful time for them to be here on this front porch after this house has been restored and saved into the future. So, Joanne, if you could come up and accept the brick, appreciate that. Okay. Well, we'll do that. We'll be, if we could, we're going to come back and, yeah, in a moment. Okay? Great. Thank you so much.
We're going to switch up and we'll go first.
Okay. Very good. That's great. Okay. Well, no, let's go ahead. Then, Mike, if you could make your presentation. We have more for you to carry.
I'll take one. Great. We hope you brought an empty suitcase.
Okay. And Mike, here you go. Well, we have one more or two more things for you, Joanne. And Mike, if you could present this.
This is the first time I've seen this, so it's beautiful. It's an award to Joanne Carter Siegel in recognition of all the work she's done to inspire what we're here about today. And I remember the first time Joanne and I came here, I guess it was 97?
13 years.
13 years ago, she and I came here and I showed her the house and we left a note on the door because we missed everyone. And years later we found out that the Grays kept that note signed by her. So it's kind of cool. So I'd like to present this to Joanne and with our thanks. I'd like to read it. It says, to Joanne Carter Siegel, the one true inspiration for the timeless literary character Lois Lane, who serves as a continuing role model for young women everywhere. This award also recognizes the tireless efforts to promote American popular culture and preserve the legacy of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the creator of Superman. Presented on this date, July 11, 2009.
One more thing.
Hi, I haven't actually met Mrs. Siegel yet. I went last night, we had a reception, and I saw her across the room, and I was kind of shy, you know, I didn't want to go up and talk to her. I even wore a nice suit, which I normally don't do, and I got to thinking, that sounds kind of familiar, right? To me, Superman begins with Lois Lane. You can't have Superman without Lois Lane, because why else do you put on red and blue and a cape and jump around if you're not trying to impress a pretty girl? So we'd like to present from the Siegel and Shuster Society a copy of the original Situation Wanted ad that Joanne put out in the paper just on a whim to be a model, and Joe and Jerry answered it, and the rest is history. Thank you.
We also have a, from the city, the council of the city of Cleveland, to you, Joanne, for your artistic and inspirational influence as the original model for the character Lois Lane. As the widow of Superman co-creator Jerry Siegel, you tirelessly carried on his legacy as one of the originators of a timeless champion of the people who stood for truth, justice, and the American way. This council applauds your exemplary efforts and extends best wishes to you for very much continued happiness and success in the future.
Thank you so much.
And I'd like to invite you if you'd like to say a few words.
Actually, Dick, if I could just mention, we have some unfinished business here. And Mrs. Siegel, I think you should stand here as well. I'd like to ask the great Irv Fine to come up to the mic. I think you have something to present.
I already
I'm
got
sorry.
a brick.
Dick is already done.
Oh, okay, very
They
good.
want to give me a second brick.
You can put that on eBay.
They think I can sell it, maybe. If Mrs. Siegel would put her head out the door right now, she'd say, "Oy vey, Jerome, what did you do?" And I say, "I didn't do anything, Ma." Well, this is such a great honor for Laura and myself, and to see everybody turn out, even in the rain. Because it's raining, I'm going to make this short. So Laura can get her turn. But what I want to say is this is a very special day. And I want to thank everybody who had a part in making this happen. I won't name names because then my speech will get long. But this is such a special house. As you all know, something very special happened here, which is an influence surprisingly all over the world, because Superman is known everywhere. And when we went to Sweden, Jerry and I, as guests of Sweden, for their 400th year anniversary, and the people, the way they turned out, it was amazing. And they had known that they were going to have a convention there, so people came from all over Europe for that convention. And so we met people from China and Germany and Australia and New Zealand, all over. It was amazing. And so I just want to say, God bless this house, and God bless everyone who comes here, because when you come here, just feel the vibes that are in this house, because the Grays, the wonderful people who own this house, have also been Superman fans, and they have kept that vibe going all these years. And you would come in, sign the guest book, and just feel the house as you go through. Jerry had tremendous energy. He would not walk through a house, he would swoosh through a house. And sometimes he would tire me out. I'd say, "Don't rush around so much, you're making me tired." And he couldn't understand that anyway. The rain is picking up, so I'm going to let Laura get in here. And God bless you all for coming. And I'm sorry if you get wet, but please remember this day with great deal of pleasure and inspiration, because it is a house that inspires people for good and to help others. Thank you all for coming. And now here's Laura.
I will try and make this super short. I just can't believe all of you wonderful people are standing here in the pouring rain. But I wanted to let you know how deeply our family, all members of our family, appreciate the support of everyone in Cleveland and everyone who donated both items to be sold on eBay and money to buy those items on eBay to raise an astonishing $111,000 to do what needed to be done to this house and to preserve it and to keep that spirit alive. My father would be so thrilled. He would be so proud. And I just wanted to share with you that one of my father's all-time favorite songs was The Impossible Dream from Man of La Mancha. And although it was written about Miguel de, the Don Quixote character, if you think about it, and I won't go through the lyrics, I'll spare you that right now, but if you think about it, it had great significance both for my father as a person, for the impossible dream that it was for him to create this character Superman. In many ways, it had to do with the character Superman himself, and that it also had to do with the effort that the people went into the impossible dream of making this house as beautiful as it is today. So once again, thank you so much. We love you all, and we appreciate you very deeply. Thank you.
Well, we just have a few more thanks, and we'll try to move through them quickly. Appreciate you hanging out with the rain coming down. Also, we want the Siegel family has turned out in droves, and it's wonderful. But we also have relatives of Joe Schuster, Jean Schuster Peavy, and could not make it because of health. And we wish her the best, and we want to let her know that she has an open door here anytime she feels better and wants to come up. But in her place, we have Warren, and we'd like to give Warren, if you could come up and take a brick back to Jean, Joe Schuster's sister. We'd appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. These bricks came from the chimney here at the house. As we rebuilt the chimney, we had to bring in some new bricks, and we saved all these bricks from the house. So these are the special commemorative bricks from the house. Thank you very much. Thank you. We also want to thank DC Comics. Paul Levitz, the CEO of DC Comics, sends us his best wishes. He could not make it, but they've been great in helping coordinate us and support us through the process. Irvine, you've been fantastic. We have already presented a brick to Irv, and we thank you for all that you've done in bringing the Siegel family here. Lee Goldie for bringing the Schuster family here. But I think, and we have a brick for you too, Lee. But what we want to do is also give a brick. It seems a little odd to give it to the people who own the house, but we want to make sure that you have a commemorative brick. If Jefferson and Hetty Gray could come up. Thank you. People often ask, well, gee, now that you fixed up the house, are you making it a museum? And Brad Meltzer and I think the entire Siegel and Schuster Society have said very clearly, this is a home. It's not just a house, it's a home. And that we couldn't ask for two more wonderful people to have a family in this house, to take care of it and maintain it as a home. And thank you so much for doing that and being so open and caring to everybody who comes to you. Absolutely.
On behalf of my wife and my family, this is a great day for us. To live in this house today, to see the widow, Jerry Siegel, come to this house and we hug. I am very happy. I wanted to meet her. I went to California last year. I didn't know her address or anything. But I said to my wife that I pray that she come here today, and we are the third family that lives in this house. And Miss Siegel, out of all the years of my life, Superman will live on no matter what. Anybody come to this house, we learn to give them love, because Superman is one of my heroes. I'm from Mississippi. I grew up Superman, and today I just want to thank every person that had something to do with this project. Tracy is just like a sister to me since we've been working together. She thinks she owns me and I own her. So I just want to thank each and every one. Thank you.
I think we have some unfinished business here, Dick.
I'm not on the menu today, but I just got a... Dick Case has been working like a... I really can't describe it. So, but he doesn't have a brick. So I got to make sure that he has one. And nobody really told the story of the brick. Tracy Kirksey at one of the meetings handed me a brick. I said, what's this brick? She said, this came off the chimney of the house. Don't you want it? I said, what am I going to do with a brick? That night, as I slept, I got a message from Krypton. And said, do something with the brick. So we made up a plaque. And I can't imagine why this page didn't read what it says on this plaque. And it says, an official super brick from the chimney of the Siegel home at 10622 Kimberly Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, to
to commemorate the location where Superman was created in the 30s by Glenville High School friends Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Restoration of a house undertaken by Glenville Development Corporation and the Siegel and Schuster Society in 2008. Then Jamie Regal had the idea, let's sell them, and we numbered them like a piece of art. And coincidentally, they're being sold for $106.22. And I'm sorry it's raining, and I'm going to stop right now.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a moment has arrived that I'm sure we'll be talking about for many years to come. And an historic occasion like this deserves an historic theme. Jim? Mrs. Siegel, Laura, if you'd approach the ribbon, please. Unveiling, could we please have someone take the blue tarps off the fence?
Can I have my men of faith please lift the veil of the fence?
I thank everyone that came out today. We'd also like to cordially invite everyone to visit the site where Joe Shuster lived and drew the first image of Superman. The apartment building was torn down in 1975, but we have created a fence to commemorate this important role in the creation of the greatest superhero of all. If you need help with directions, you want to see Dick Case, we have some maps as well. This is only the first step in the never-ending campaign. We will continue to honor these people now and into the future. And we now invite you to continue the weekend's festivities at the Screamin' Tiki Con.